Okay, Otter Creek Part 2. You can see our sides are pretty much it's almost Clovis shaped. Pretty much parallel sides to a not too pointy point. The flakes are a little finer, but we still got pressure flaking to do. So, spilled my pop all over myself during my break. But that's where we're at. We're basically got to be in the pressure flaking zone. I'm gonna put my glasses on, hopefully I can see. Been having a hard time seeing tonight. See, it's been raining and the antler just isn't working. It's too soft. You've seen me try. I wanted to use antler. I'm going to have to build a box, put a light bulb in it, say a 10 5-watt light bulb, and keep my antler tools inside of it. Because although my shed has a fan, I've got a cross fan that blows across the shop and out the door. It doesn't have air conditioning for dehumidification. All I'm doing now is kind of regularizing the edge so I can see where I'm at. And I like these points that don't have them super fine tips on them. I don't know if the Otter Creek would be a knife or a, 3. I guess it could be an lattle dart. Or a thrones. Some guys make their latticles pretty big, so I don't think a 3-inch point would be too big for an lattle dart. So, see, we're kind of straight here. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is just bring this over a little bit, bring this base up, bring that tip over a little bit, and then we'll have to do some shallow, wide notches, which are pretty a-okay in my book. And that's what we want. We want smaller, fine flakes on the edge, some bigger ones in the middle. We don't want to wipe that middle out, but we do want some fine flaking. Doesn't hurt to do that just to see where you're at. All the way around. My grandson would be, "Pappy, you're all blooded." But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the notched pad, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. See there, the fine flakes, and then I pushed them in. Now I'm going to braid back and push them over. Start working on the width a little less in the base. I want to get them parallel sides 2/3 of the way up the point, because that's what that looks like to me. Steppy right there. And that's because this stuff is banded and in layers. And, if a layer meets up with you, you're going to have troubles. You have to pay attention to that, which way the layers are. So, see, these layers are stepping, so I know I got to flake more from the other side. Now I could use the indirect here, but it would make them big clovisy looking flakes, which are not what a Moro has, or Moro. I guess you know which one I really want to make. The Otter Creek. The Otter Creek does not have that. Now that's looking pretty good. Let's check our width, see how much room we still have. 1.5 inches. We still have a lot of room. 3 inches. We still have a lot of length. So we could lose a tip, or we could do something to the base and still end up. And then, see, we got a nice even edge, even surface, even edge. And still got a little bit of clipping to do right there. So I'm gonna of course the braider can set you up some platforms. You don't have to do all that. Oh, that's getting pretty close, and I can see the layers. See, the layers are actually like this. So when I'm flaking this side, if it's not really strong, it's going to want to hinge. And the same on this side, you see, because the layers are like this. So on this side, they want to hinge, and they are right there. But you know, that's just going to be the way it is. Okay, our sides are pretty much parallel. I just have to bring this tip in a little bit. A little bit right here. I don't really like taking that spot. We're gonna use the fine tip indirect, and I'm gonna hope that I don't break this. I want to try and get that steppy spot. Ooh, yeah. So that's a really fine tipped indirect, copper indirect. And I took a bite right when I didn't want to. See, that's the danger. But lucky we got width, because I want to get rid of that step. And I just made it way worse. And I got most of it by hitting directly on the step. So that works. No more messing around with the indirect. Okay, I think this side is pretty much perfect. Work on the tip a little bit. Okay, now I gotta start on the base, which, where'd the book go? The base is slightly concave with, look, perfect match. So we gotta do some shaping of the base. This is where it could all go south. Because that point doesn't have flutes. I can't take my indirect and just hit a big flake up there. I've got to... I've got to have short flakes at the base and then some good flakes from the sides. And when I do my notches, that's when I'll get that. I never really was much into making stuff that was, you know, made back in the day. But I gotta tell you, it's actually kind of fun trying to match up how things went. I don't need to work over here because this is going to be my length. I'm just trying to get this off. Without making any mistakes. No mistakes, Jakes. And I'm going to try to actually, when I make something that's a replica kind of thing, I want to try and make it from the wrong material so that, you know, someday when I'm long gone, somebody doesn't come along and man, we could actually Clovis form that. The flakes don't go all the way though, and they don't match, so it wouldn't really be that. But it could be a nice fluted point. But that is not the game today. Okay, there's our preform. It's looking pretty good. Tip's not too bad. It's a little low right here, but we can fix that. It's still got to come over just a hair. So that being low doesn't really hurt anything. But everything else is centered. And our notches are about a notch width up. So, and they're not particularly fine. Which suits me tremendously. Suits my habits. And as per the usual, I've got a crunchy spot right where the notches go. It's almost like I subconsciously do that to myself. See that spot? That was a defect in the rock. You can see that straight break off. And you can still see the remainder of it here. But luckily, this point has big notches. And this is crunchy too. See, it always goes like that. One notch gives you trouble, the other notch is perfect. Let me see, I measured it with my pressure flaker. See, that one's perfect. This one's a little too wide. Okay, we got that centered up. Now we just need to hollow our base a little bit. Oh, you can't see. Ooh, that's pretty good. It looks, see them? That's how the one looks. Now let's fix this tip. Still a little low. Bring it. Okay, let's look at the book. We got to come to a little bit more of a point. Excellent. So. There we go. I'm a little wider. I guess I could fix this because my notch points, see that, are wider than the point. But I'm going to keep this bigger. There's a first attempt at a point from a book, Otter Creek. I think it's pretty nice. Take my glove off. Give you some better picture. Very sharp. Very nice. I like it. I like that obsidian from that green gray banded obsidian. There we go.